If you're caring for someone with dementia, or if you love one someone whose brain is changing in ways that feel confusing, exhausting, or painful, this space is for you. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Rosabel. I'm a neurology nurse practitioner. I work with people living with dementia and also the families that love them. And one of the things that I've learned very quickly is this: dementia does not just affect the person with the diagnosis, it affects the entire family. It affects relationships, communications, identity, and especially the caregiver. And yet, most caregivers are expected to just figure it out as they go, as if it comes with a manual. In all honesty, hardly anything in this life comes with a manual. But I do want to tell you what I have noticed in clinic. So, when I first started seeing dementia patients in clinic, something really kept bothering me. We talked a lot about the patient, and that's great. We talked a lot about medications, about scans, symptoms, progressions, all those things, right? But there was always someone else in the room: a spouse, an adult children, a caregiver who had quietly rearranged their entire life. No one asked them how they were doing. I remember the first time I finally asked a caregiver that question. I look at them and I say, "How are you doing?" And they literally went like, "Who, me? No, I'm not the patient." I said, "No, yes, you." Yeah, I mean you. And that moment changed the way I started teaching dementia because it showed me how invisible caregivers often feel, even while they're carrying one of the heaviest loads. And so let's be honest, if you have ever answered, "I'm fine," when you're clearly not, congratulations, you are officially a caregiver, right? But I want to say this: why is it that caregiving feels so hard? One of the most common things caregivers tell me is this in every conversation. They're basically telling me that there's a lot of arguments, that they keep explaining things, and it tends to make things worse. And a lot of times they feel like they're the bad guy or the bad wife, spouse. And that breaks my heart because a lot of times this very young caregivers, they think that there's something that they're doing wrong, that they're actually failing. But the truth is, most caregivers are not struggling because they lack patience of the love. They're actually struggling because no one ever taught them how the dementia brain actually works. So dementia is not just memory loss. It affects reasoning, logic, judgment, how the brain process reality. But when you keep using tools like correction and explanation, things that used to work, frustration begins to build on both sides. And so that does not mean that you, the caregiver, is doing something wrong. It means the rules have changed. So there's something very important on that. And that is that when you meet someone where they are, that does not mean that you are agreeing with the disease, if you know what I mean. It means you are respecting the limits of their brains or their brain. And when caregivers finally get to understand that, something shifts. I've seen it. They stop blaming themselves, they stop taking things personally, they start finding moments of connection again. Something different does not mean less meaningful, it just means different. All I'm going to say is I'm planning to do my first Q&A session this coming Sunday. I'm going to call it weekly live series here on YouTube. I want this to be a place where we slow things down, where we talk about dementia in plain language, and we focus on what actually helps in real life. I don't want to bring any medical overwhelm or judgment or pretending this is easy. My goal is simple. I really want caregivers to feel informed, supported, and seen. That's one of the main reasons I'm doing this. But before we wrap up, I want to do something a little fun and a little personal. I want to give a shout out to someone who helps me make all of this possible. My husband, he's my biggest supporter. Thank you so much for everything you do for me and for our family. And then another person I want to give a shout out is Julius. He is the engineer behind my site, my website, and some cool things are coming up. We have put together a whole course, but we are, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it in a minute. And I also want to give a shout out to Carl. Carl's a new team member. He's probably been with me for about a month. Carl, he's my assistant, and honestly, a tremendous help. Support matters more than people realize. I'm just so grateful. And by the way, I also want to share something important with you. And I will be one of, oh, this is why I'm holding this. I'm going to be one of the speakers at the Vail County Alzheimer's Expo 2026. This is going to be on Wednesday, let's see, March 4th from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's happening at the Central Texas Council of Governments. It's located at 2189 North Main Street in Belton, Texas. And this event is going to be presented by Divine Home Care Services in collaboration with Bader's Wide. I'm going to be speaking about Care Guide for Caregivers because caregivers deserve practical guidance, not just information. So if you're in the area or know someone who is, I would love to see you there. And now, the most important invitation, it is this first of many lives. The first full live in the series will be coming Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's when we'll slow things down and really dive into communication, what helps, what hurts, and why so many conversations go sideways, talking about between caregivers and dementia loved ones. So if that time works for you, write it down Sunday, 5 p.m. in the comments so I'll know you'll be there. I hope to see you. Also, I did mention that I'm about to start my beta phase of the Dementia Care Guide course. The course is already built. It's built with caregivers in mind. It's based on what families tell me they wish someone had explained them sooner. And so if you want to be part of the beta, you can go to rosabelsofield.com/understanding dash dementia. The first people that get to join that waiting list, you're going to receive that course for free for 12 months. And all I'm asking in exchange is for you to tell me what works, what doesn't work. I just want real feedback. So I'll put that link in the description here. If dementia has made you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, invisible, or like you're doing everything wrong, you're not failing, honestly. You are doing something incredibly hard without having been taught how to. It's like being a parent for the first time. Hope you join me this Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. And if you want, you can drop one of the things you're struggling with right now in the comments, and I'll make sure we'll talk about it maybe next Sunday or in future lives. Alrighty. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.